Glen Powell entered the world on October 21st, 1988 in Austin, Texas. From the get-go, he was a charmer. His parents, Glen Sr. and Cindy, knew they had a special kid on their hands. Glen grew up with two sisters, Lauren and Leslie. The Powell household was always buzzing with energy. Young Glen was a natural entertainer. His family was his first audience. They encouraged his creative spirit from day one. School was where Glen really started to shine. He attended Westwood High School in Austin. There, he discovered his passion for acting. He threw himself into every school play he could. After high school, Glen set his sights on the big leagues. He had always dreamed of making it big in Hollywood. And now was his chance to turn that dream into reality. He packed his bags and headed to Los Angeles, the city where dreams are made and broken. His first break came in 2003, a moment that would change his life. He landed a small role in Spy Kids 3D Game Over, a popular film at the time. The experience gave him a taste of the big time, fueling his passion and drive even more. But Glen knew he had to work hard, harder than he ever had before. His time on set made him realize he needed more training. He enrolled at the University of Texas at Austin, balancing his education with his acting aspirations. But his heart was in Hollywood, where he envisioned his future. He balanced his studies with auditions, each one a step closer to his dream. He'd fly back and forth between Austin and LA, chasing every opportunity that came his way. Every audition was a chance, a possibility to showcase his talent. Every rejection was a lesson, a stepping stone to improve and grow. He scored a minor role in the Steven Spielberg-produced miniseries, Into the West. Glen knew this was just the beginning. The journey ahead was long, but he was ready for it. Glen took on various small roles, each one a building block in his journey. He appeared in TV shows like Without a Trace and CSI Miami. These weren't glamorous parts, but they were crucial for his development. Roles in Rizzoli and Isles and NCIS followed. By appearing in such dramatic primetime fare, Glen raised his profile and showed his range. He demonstrated he was more than just a pretty face, far more. They helped him hone his craft, allowing him to gain valuable experience and improve his skills on set. And most importantly, they kept him in the game, ensuring he remained competitive in a tough industry. In 2007, Glen landed a role in The Great Debaters, a significant opportunity. It was a Denzel Washington film, a major project that gave Glen much-needed exposure. It put him on the map, earning him recognition and respect in the industry. But it also showed him how much more he had to learn, highlighting the challenges that still lay ahead despite his early success. A small but notable role in Christopher Nolan's box office smash conclusion to his Batman trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises, further propelled Glen. Credited as Traitor Number 1, he shared screen time with respected actor Tom Hardy, who portrayed maniacal villain Bane. As his career gained momentum, the roles started getting meatier. He was no longer just a background character, he was becoming a central figure in the stories he was part of. A significant part in Stallone's all-star vehicle, The Expendables 3 followed, putting Glen in good company. As the character Thorn, he acted alongside Hollywood heavyweights Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Antonio Banderas, Harrison Ford, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mel Gibson, Wesley Snipes, and others. It was a dream for an up-and-coming actor to be on set with such a bevy of cinematic legends, and Glen soaked it up. Ever-growing roles in horror films Windwalkers and Ride Along 2 came in quick succession, but it was 2016 that really put Glen on the map. This was the year that changed everything for him. He starred in Everybody Wants Some, a Richard Linklater film. Critics loved it. They loved Glen too. His performance was praised for its depth and authenticity. As Finnegan, he stood out amongst a cadre of young talent such as Wyatt Russell, Zoe Deutsch, and Tyler Hoechlin. Glen was named one of Variety's 10 actors to watch, a prestigious recognition that highlighted his potential. It was a big deal. Hollywood was taking notice, and so were audiences around the world. But Glen didn't let it go to his head. He kept working, kept pushing, always striving to improve his craft. Prominent roles came in quick succession. In Ryan Murphy's Scream Queens, he made it through 16 episodes. He portrayed American hero and future senator, astronaut John Glenn, in the critically lauded Hidden Figures, and a soldier alongside Nicholas Hoult, Logan Marshall Green, and Henry Cavill in the riveting Netflix war film Sandcastle. 2022 was the year that changed everything for Glen Powell. Top Gun: Maverick hit theaters. It was a sequel 36 years in the making, and audiences everywhere responded rabidly to it. And Glen was a significant part of it. He played Jake Hangman Saracen, cocky foil to Miles Teller's Rooster. It was the role of a lifetime, and Glen knew it. giving it his all, exuding flyboy machismo with gusto. The film was a massive success, tallying over $1 billion in box office receipts and propelling Glen into the stratosphere. It broke box office records. Critics loved it. Audiences couldn't get enough. There are already plans for a sequel. And Glen? He stole every scene he was in. His cocky charm was perfect for the role. He held his own against Tom Cruise. No easy feat. He had become a bona fide movie star overnight. But he handled it with grace. He remained humble. All his years of toil and preparation had finally paid off in spades. Fresh off the success of Maverick, Glen returned to the aviator's cockpit, this time for World War II, in the well-received Devotion. Reuniting with Netflix and Richard Linklater once again, Glen starred in the wildly popular Hit Man. This time, co-writing and producing with Linklater on the unique rom-com. Based on a surprisingly true life story, Glen portrays Gary Johnson, a college professor who moonlights as a faux hitman for his city's police department. Things get turned upside down, with comical results, when he finds himself attracted to a woman who enlists his services. Torn between love and duty, Gary has to find a way of appeasing both sides. More recently, Glen co-starred with the red-hot Sydney Sweeney in the worldwide smash comedy Anyone But You, a loose reimagining of Shakespeare's beloved Much Ado About Nothing. The film charmed audiences and further cemented Glen's standing as a viable, bankable Hollywood heartthrob. As Ben, the romantic lead, he has to navigate a destination wedding with Bea, the vivacious Sweeney, whom he upset following a wonderful first date. Forced to act as a couple, despite their misguided feelings for one another, the two stumble from one hysterical mishap to the next. Aside from his film work, Glen is an avid outdoorsman. Hiking, climbing, and skiing, he feels it keeps him grounded. Centered from the crazy rat race that is Hollywood. Glen is also passionate about giving back. He's involved with several charities. Education is a cause close to his heart. He often visits schools. He talks to kids about chasing their dreams, about the importance of hard work. He sees it as his duty. Despite his rising fame, Glen Powell keeps his personal life relatively private. He's been linked to several high-profile relationships, including actress Nina Dobrev, Australian TV host Renee Barg, and model Gigi Paris. Rumors of romance regarding him and Sweeney spread during the filming of Anyone But You, but the two insist it was orchestrated publicity and nothing more. As of this moment, Powell is single and focused on his red-hot career. Too busy to enjoy the fruits of his labor and not allowing himself to be defined by relationships past and future. As Glen Powell's star continues to rise, his future looks brighter than ever. He's got several exciting projects in the pipeline, foremost of which is this year's Twisters, a long-awaited sequel to the 1996 Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt classic. Glen headlines as hotshot storm chaser Tyler Owens, alongside notables Kiernan Shipka, Daisy Edgar-Jones, David Corenswet, and Maura Tierney. The film is set to blow theatergoers away this summer. Behind the scenes, Glen is also making moves. He's developing projects as a producer. He wants to shape stories from the ground up, to have a say in the kind of content that gets made. It's an exciting new chapter in his career. As we look back on Glen Powell's journey, one thing is clear. He's made a significant impact on Hollywood. From his humble beginnings in Texas to his breakout role in Top Gun Maverick, Glen has consistently impressed. He's not just a flash in the pan, he's here to stay. What sets Glen apart is his versatility. He's equally at home in comedies and dramas, action flicks, and rom-coms. This range has made him a director's dream, a chameleon who can adapt to any role. It's a rare quality in Hollywood, one that ensures longevity in a fickle industry. Glen Powell is not just part of Hollywood's present, he's shaping its future. And with that, we conclude this entry into the Pantheon. Thank you for watching.